In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
Piers, great to have you back on Renegade Inc. That clip, turns out President Eisenhower was correct. What a warning, wasn't it, 60 years ago?
Yes, it was a very clear warning from a US president stepping down, a very clear warning to the American public about what he coined a phrase, of course, the military-industrial complex, about what was happening in America with the growing strength of the intelligence and industrial lobby, and essentially what has become the war lobby. There's a very clear warning, and we can run through Afghanistan, we can run through US, South America in the 70s, Central America in the 80s, Afghanistan, war on terror. All that we have seen since then is a growing intensification of the problem that he identified, to the point where we are now, 20 years in on the global war on terror, where we're still embroiled in major conflicts around the world, most prominently in Iraq and in Syria. And really it's testament to what he said. And I think Barack Obama made a comment about this, that the war lobby in America is very difficult to fight against. And you see this across presidencies, right? You see, it's a different president, but it's the same policy. And we see this with Biden and Syria. It's a different president, but the policy is carrying on. And that's testament, I think, to the kind of the strength of the war lobby and strength of the military-industrial complex that Eisenhower warned us about 60 years ago.
So presidents have become really a showpiece. Who's actually running things? Well,
I mean, I think some scholars refer to the deep state, some scholars refer to the permanent state. There are other terms that you could use. But I think who runs the show, I think what you're looking at is a coalition of interests, very tightly interwoven, which push policy in a particular way. And I think that's the reality of what you have. You have this kind of interlinking between politicians, between big business. And of course, this is well documented in the case of the American political system. And, saying from my own perspective, you have the revolving door between the academia and policy making. These things cease to be, in terms of structure, these aren't independent entities. Academia is not independent. The mainstream media isn't independent. The executive is not properly independent of the executive, and so on. And then you have the defense industry and intelligence services, and they're so interwoven that it becomes a very difficult juggernaut to stop.